Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Daniel and this is Gunz-N-Stuff. Gunz-N-Stuff is a weekly Q&A show with me where we sit down and talk about guns and stuff. It's a lot of fun and fairly straightforward, which is how I'm able to do it consistently. And it is the last episode of Gunz-N-Stuff for the year. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me this year. Thank you all so much for dropping in so many dope questions, follow-up questions, sticking with me. And like, for real, this wouldn't happen without you all. I don't have anything to talk about without y'all asking questions. It's been a blast. Also, we're gonna do my top pistol for 2022. This was really close, but there was one that I think, anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's hit some questions. Okay, let's talk about the 47. All right, so there are rumors of a Glock 47 coming to the States, and I am excited about it. Glock always drops something random, and it's basically a Glock 17 slide that you can put on a Glock 19, and I am very excited. This might be the first Gen 5 Glock that I grab. I'm very excited. It's probably gonna be really hard to come by when it first releases, but yes, that's one gun I'm excited to run. People still not running red dot sights on pistols. Yes, I don't know why. Red dots are the future. I was talking to a guy today and he doesn't even have backup iron sights on his gun. He just runs a red dot. I think red dot sight, people who are against red dot sights at this point are really just people that don't understand them and haven't had someone teach them how to shoot red dots. I was at a competition a few days ago and I was just watching people who were shooting. The new shooters who didn't really know what they were doing, the ones who had red dots significantly did better than the ones that were running irons. Red dots, whether you're a new shooter or you've been at it for a while, red dots are just better. There's a reason every major company is cutting their optics for their slides for optics. Like, red dots are their future. What AR-15 lower parts kits would you go with? So for some of that stuff, it kind of really doesn't matter. Roll pins and springs, it matters, but not really. You can also get stripped lower parts kits that leave off the trigger and stuff that people always want to customize. So maybe go with that one. But when it comes to lower parts kits, specifically like the springs, the detents and things like that, there's not a whole lot of difference in variants. What's the best 2011 on the market from your experience? The best, well, that's kind of hard because once you take costs out of it, everything's the best. Hands down, just like the best 2011s right now are going to be Atlas 2011s. There's a little stuff beyond that, but like Atlas, they are really killing it. So yeah, Atlas is like the best, but they're crazy expensive and hard to come by because they're making so few of them and they're all already purchased. So Atlas has like the best guns. Mainstream, I think it's hard to beat the Cerakote XC. Integrated comp, right length barrel, all metal, fit and finishes there, optics ready. It's pricey, but the Cerakote XC is hard to beat. Will a 7.5-inch 5.56 do just as good as a 5.5-inch 300 blackout AR in CQB? I feel like it's overrated. Well, is the 300 blackout overrated or is the 5.56 overrated? Whenever you go shorter than 10 inches, people talk about ballistics, but if you're talking CQB, that's definitely 25 and in. So I don't know if that really comes into play. For me, I hate short ARs because of the giant fireballs, the loud concussions, all that kind of stuff. So in an enclosed area, that's gonna be even worse. Now, CQB, 300 blackout, you're talking suppressed probably, so it's gonna be less. It's still gonna be horrible, but not as bad. So it really depends. Me personally, I just don't enjoy any 5.56 guns under 10.5, 10.3. They're just the worst to be around, and that's just me not liking being around them at the range. Like if I see a 6-inch, 5-inch, 5.56, I'm at the other end of the range. Cosent versus Cerakote. So that's a really good question. That's the biggest question I've gotten between the two guns. And I was talking to the owner of Cosent, and he put it the best way. He's basically said Cosent is another option. It's kind of like Toyota versus Honda. They're both very similar, but they do stuff different ways. Thoughts on using appendix inside the waistband holster on the strong side? Well, the minute you move it from your appendix, it's no longer an appendix holster. So that's kind of the logic. The appendix is more the position than the type of holster. Can you please do a recommendation on the top 3 ARs and the top 3 shotguns? Not really on the ARs, because I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. ARs are all the same. There are slight variants. Radiant's different than BCM. It's different than Arrow. They're all different, but different, same. I am a self-professed not a big fan of shotguns. I think there are better options for most things. But yeah, so shotguns, Mossberg, Remington, and Beretta. Just go with those ones. Comps on your EDC, yes or no? Yes, but don't expect it to replace good mechanics. If you suck at shooting, you're still gonna suck at shooting with a comp. It doesn't help much. What are your thoughts on guns moving towards piston-driven AR-18 platforms? I think it's the wave of the future. We've already had piston guns for a while with like LWRC, PWS, but the folding integrated AR-18 platform, the MCX really is the one that brought that into the new age. And then you got Brownells, Foxtrot Mikes, and all these other companies really dialing it in. So I think we're gonna see that really heavy in 2023. More reliability, more adaptation from different companies. Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be the wave. Now, will we see mass adoption? Like, will we see Smith & Wesson drop one? I don't know if we're gonna be that far into the industry yet. I think it's still a little ways out, but I definitely think it's the future. Thoughts on the Glock 21? When I first got into guns, I'm like, the Glock 21 is the coolest gun ever. I've been in it for a while, and I still think it's super cool. A giant 45, it's sick. Glock 21's dope. If you want one, I think it's like the ultimate like home defense gun. I can't see anyone outside of Miss Hero EDCing that, but yeah, the Glock 21's legit. Gun goals for 23. Lots of gun goals. One of my biggest goals, I would say, is going to be getting more people who are interested in guns, shooting, practicing, and purchasing a gun if they're interested. That's gonna be my big goal for 23. When I first got into guns, there was no one really to help and to really talk me through the process, and that's what I wanna do for people. So that's gonna be my big goal and my big focus for 23. 507C or 508T, this is the 508T X2, and I love this optic. It's a great optic. I might say spend a little extra money and get the 508. Dan Wesson DWX. So I normally don't get like really excited over new guns. Guns are guns, but I might have to sell a kitty. That gun looks sick. I might have to track one of those down. They're very intriguing. I want one. I just straight up want one. How to vet a firearms instructor? That's a very good question. This is bad. Straight up ask people who are in the industry. Sometimes it's kind of like being a new shooter and picking a new gun. You don't really know what to look for, so you might end up with something weird. Smith & Wesson Competitor, what are your thoughts on them? So I think that it's a phenomenal gun. I've never shot it, but like this shoots great. So I can only imagine how well the all metal shoots, much less how much the all metal competition shoots. So I've never shot it, but I imagine it's a really great gun to run. What's your shoe of the year? I don't want to talk about this. So my shoe of the year was going to be the Travis Scott's, the all black ones. So there are a lot of shoes that came out this year. I heard about those way back when they were just announced, and I wanted those shoes so badly. I love all black everything, so I'm like, if there's one shoe I could get, it's gonna be those. I'm not spending $1,000 resale. I'm just not doing that. So yeah, those are the ones. That was gonna be my shoe of the year. I don't know why I felt like I had a chance, but that was just the worst. Killmonger was to have an AR-15. Which one would you think he had? The Salient Arms Gray. That rifle's just says Killmonger. It's clean, it's efficient, it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it with style and swag. Like, Killmonger would absolutely run a Salient Gray. Is the Ruger 9mm Compact Pro worth it gun to have? I think every gun is worth it to have. I think you should own every gun. Now, is it worth it to carry an EDC? Ruger has been making a lot of changes and updates to their gun. I've shot a lot of the old Rugers and I wasn't really impressed. But they've redone a lot of stuff. So I can't speak with any authority on it. So I've got to get my hands on it and run it. I might say try something else just because they haven't had a great track record, so they could have turned stuff around, but I might look other places. But if you have one and you run it and you're good with it, do that. But if you're looking for a new gun, I might try something else. Don't let the low price tag entice you. There's a reason cheap guns are cheap. It's not because they like you and they want to help you out. Do you like Springfield? No. Should I explain that? No, I don't like them. Taurus GC3, never had a misfire, even with steel case, 150 private sale, great ergos. Okay, here's my test for a good gun or bad gun. Take a class with it, and not like a new beginner class. Take like a mid-level shooting class, 500 rounds plus, where you're like running your gun, and that will tell you all you need to know about a gun. Man, I ask every time, where are you shooting these videos? You are right, bro. You do ask every time. What do you think about Cerakote just for looks? Absolutely do it. I have Cerakoted guns. So like if you send your slide off to get milled, they have to strip the coating off of it. So they have to Cerakote it anyway. You may get it Cerakoted black, but like they have to Cerakote your gun anyway. So yeah, I am all for it. If this gun has like a chameleon barrel, if you want to Gucci-fy it and it's not gonna ruin your gun, go for it. Do what makes you happy. Best, beyond all else, upgrades you can do for your EDC. Training. Don't suck with your EDC, and that will do so much better than everything else you could do to your gun. All right, time for my top pick for the #1 pistol of 2022. Now, this was a really hard competition, and it came down to the two guns that I'm gonna talk about. So first place, or second place I might say, is going to be the SIG X Macro. Now, this gun is really amazing and legit. It's also got a few quirks. I want to say the X Macro is just like the most amazing feat, but it's really the magazines for the X Macro. The magazines for the X Macro really are something to behold. I kind of could do without the slide. That's not a comp. It's not a real comp. It's cool, but it's not a real comp. Everything about it is still legit, great from 365. But it's a really great innovative gun. That lower is a really phenomenal thing. The magazines are crazy. Two reasons why it didn't make the #1 spot is I'm still a little fuzzy on SIG's reliability. The 320, they've had issues with the 365s in the past, and I'm just not 100% confident in SIG's ability to put out a bulletproof product. And for me, it's gotta be legit. It's a great gun, it's a dope gun. The other thing is going to be the price. It's a great gun, but it's a little heavy on the price. I think it's like $800 at retail, and that's a bit steep. That's a bit heavy for a EDC gun that doesn't come with an optic, that doesn't come with anything crazy, upgraded triggers or anything like that. That's really the $500 to $650 range. Past that, I'm gonna be expecting additional features, additional things on that gun, and the X Macro doesn't really have it. Time for #1, my top gun, my top pick for 2022 is going to be the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Compact with, now this is the caveat, with the upgraded trigger. Now, I can hear everyone saying the M&P's no good, the M&P sucks. The problem that I have with a lot of people, and I'm already attacking people instead of talking about the gun. The problem I have with a lot of people is the old M&Ps, even the early 2.0s weren't that great, but Smith & Wesson has slowly been tinkering on that gun to the point where it's a really great platform. You're getting they did away with the hinge trigger, so you're getting a really great trigger. You're getting an optic cut, you're getting good sights, you're getting great mags, you're getting different ergo options for the frame. It has pretty much everything you want in a good gun. The price point is there. You can grab them for, I think, like $650. The reliability is there. If you saw Grand Thumb's video on freezing pistols, like the reliability is there. And for an all-around great gun, I think the M&P 2.0, they finally dialed it in this year, and it's just a really great gun. It's one of those guns where I can't think of one thing I would mod on it or change. Every other gun, Glocks, SIGs, all the other guns, I can think of something, yeah, I don't really like that one. M&P 2.0 can run just the way it is, and it's perfectly fine. And that is my pick for the top pistol of 2022. All right, That's it for Guns and Stuff this week and for this year. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me this whole past year. It truly means a lot to me. It means so much that you guys ask so many questions, that you followed me along for this fun, interesting, quirky journey, and there is so much more to come. If I wasn't able to get your question, please shoot me a DM. I would love to help you out. And until next year, I cannot wait to hang out with you guys for some more Guns and Stuff.